Hey there, I'm Emgris, I'm from Russia, and today I'm gonna give you a quick update about what's going on in Russia right now, because the quarantine has been reduced in many regions. In Moscow, for example, I think by now it has been completely gone, but that's quite a disputable decision to make, so I'm gonna tell you a bit later, so stay tuned, and here is my update on what's going on in Russia. And of course, when I finally decided to start filming, the weather changed and now it's a little bit rainy and windy, but I hope you can hear and see me perfectly. First of all, Moscow. Moscow, as usual, is the beginning of everything in Russia, as well as with quarantine. So basically it was a pretty weird situation, because one day Sobyanin, the mayor of Moscow, he said that it's too early to loosen all the restrictions and the rate of disease is quite high. But after a couple of days, some other politicians said that now it's completely fine and we can reduce all the measures. Only after that, Sobyanin actually signed some kind of law, and he said that there will be different stages of reducing quarantine measures, and now Moscow is following it. Why do I think that it's a political decision? Just because on the 1st of July we'll have not an election, a vote, and it will be a constitutional vote for the constitutional amendments. That is also quite disputable, as kind of everything that is happening in Russia right now. So these amendments are about different things, but one of the main things is that Putin will be able to be the president of Russia till 2036, and he can't be president for so long according to current constitution, so he decided to change it. Basically that's what's happening. That quarantine was cancelled just because of those votes, because people should be happy before this vote and should be voting for the right thing. If people are stressed and if they don't have any money, basically what's happening right now, in this case they won't vote for Putin. I wanted to be not political in this vlog, but it seems that I can't. By the way, behind me you can see some views of Samara, my hometown. Would you like to see some more sights and views of my hometown? Because there are actually some of them that are pretty interesting and pretty exciting. Not all of them, but yeah, there are some interesting things. So please vote up there, and I'll make this video if you would like it. So in Moscow there were several stages of taking down the quarantine. They started with some institutions and some public places. Then they opened the summer terraces of cafes and restaurants. I don't quite understand why, because what's the big difference between a terrace and a cafe? I get the idea that the terrace is the place where there's more distance between people and basically there's fresh air, but still, is there such a big difference? But right now all the cafes and restaurants are actually opened in Moscow, and one of the last things that is opening is pools, fitness centers, gyms, those things. And the fun fact is that the last thing that is being opened is park benches. Somehow that's the most dangerous thing. I don't know, if you have an idea why benches are so dangerous and why they opened for last, just leave the comments. Eventually all other regions are actually following the path of Moscow, and in Samara right now the quarantine is here, but some measures are taken down. For example, I think cafes and restaurants are opening today or tomorrow, and the next week gyms will be opened. Every region actually thinks of their own plan, and they don't have to do this at the same time as Moscow. But in Moscow it's like paradise now, with all things being opened. Although you should still wear masks, gloves and all those things in public places. Right now I took a bus here in Samara, and the conductor actually asked me to put on the mask, and everyone was there in the mask, and yeah, still a weird pandemic thing. Right now people are more or less tired of the whole thing, and some of them don't just mind all the precautions and all the rules. Others are trying to get out of the city and go to the dachas or some country houses and just spend some time there, because just people can't bear it anymore, I guess. By the way, talking about masks, I actually noticed that nearly all of people have some kind of mask in their pocket or their bag, and they pull it out and put it on when they are being asked to do so. But also in a lot of shops now they have more strict rules, and they can't serve you, they can't sell you anything unless you have a mask on. That's why a lot of shops have made their own masks, let's put it like this. So some of them do actually use there are some rolls with some material that you can cut, and then cut some holes for your ears, and then put it on like a mask. But some shops actually do the same thing, but out of just plastic, like plastic bags. And I mean, yeah, that is technically a mask, but it doesn't do anything, and you actually can't breathe in that. So it's not helping you, and I think it's not safe. But yeah, they do follow the rules, and they try to do this as cheap as possible. Talking of different ways how companies actually try to follow the rules by cutting costs, there are lots of stories about that. And some companies are making a joke out of these rules. For example, you should, if you have a shop or some kind of place where people go, you should actually make marks on the floor. There should be a line every 1.5 meters, and this means that people should keep distance. But they actually don't have any specifications about how those lines should be made. So should they be horizontal? How should you place them? In some shops they do this way, and in some places they actually draw them diagonally, just because they can, and they still have this 1.5 meter distance. So they are making a joke out of those rules, but I can't blame them, because like in the USA and other countries, government is actually helping businesses, not just making those rules. And here businesses don't get any support and any financial help, so they just have to pay from their pocket for those rules, and they don't get anything in return. I mean, being safe and safety for their clients isn't something that will pay your bills. Have you heard any stories like that in your city or country? Please leave them in the comments. I think it will be quite an interesting view on what's going on, apart from just the official websites and media. Have you got any questions about Russia? Leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification button, and also follow me on other social media. On Instagram I do post some stories about traveling and just life in Russia, both in Russian and in English, and also do captions for my Instagram stories. Stay tuned and see ya!